questions. So someone also asked me, how do I stay sane when I can't windsurf? I would not say that I stay sane always. I definitely sometimes feel like I don't stay sane when I can't windsurf, but I understand the question because I've been through 2 shoulder rehabs where I could not windsurf. I really try to focus on what I can do and what I do have. So try to switch off from everything and see it as a growth phase, because I think during the lockdown, especially, and now with the coronavirus, a lot of people tend to think, why them? Like, why their generation? Why me? You know, why? It's easy for me to also think, why did I have to lose both my shoulders in my life, where my whole career and my sport, windsurfing, it's such a big part of the sport. I need both my shoulders, and why did I have to lose both of them? But actually the question is, why not you? Because sometimes you need to use something in order to make something positive out of it, because you never know who you are going to inspire to work through a difficult time. And so that's how I always try to see things, because every time after I've been through this, I come out at the other end a stronger person, definitely more resilient, definitely more determined, more motivated, and it's shown in my results as well. So I'd never see it as a bad, negative, sad thing. It's a good thing. I feel that you can really only grow through difficult times. So without these times, and if everything was always just amazing and fun and happy, and I could just climb the ranks in a very linear line upwards, that would really take out the opportunity to grow personally, internally, emotionally, and physically. So I definitely felt that last year after my first operation in my shoulder. I felt a lot more mental strength going on, having sustained that period of growth with the whole dislocation injury from a previous time at Lurids. And this has benefited me not only in windsurfing but also in my general life. Same with the coronavirus. I think this time is going to make everyone really a lot more appreciative of what we do have when we have it, and to appreciate your life more, and not take a single day for granted. So I think all of these bad things can be turned into a good thing. It's just depending on the way you think about it. How difficult is it to start learning how to windsurf? I will be very honest about this. It is definitely not easy to learn how to windsurf. I started at the age of 12, and it took me several December school holidays with my dad to get the basics going, and it is really a long, difficult process to learn. But if you manage to sustain that time and you keep on holding on, when you've hit the point of being able to hook into the harness, put your feet in the straps and plane, from that point onwards it is a breeze, and windsurfing will be the most amazing thing for you in your entire life. The road further in the sport is just so rewarding, because I think you have got so much more room to grow and learn. The possibilities with windsurfing is just absolutely endless. But I would definitely recommend going for professional lessons at a place like Cape Sports Centre or wherever you are in the world, because it really accelerates the learning curve. And even though it's a very expensive sport gear-wise, you can definitely get hold of very much second-hand gear, because there's a lot of them floating around in communities. Guys buying new gear and getting rid of their old gear. What do I do when I don't windsurf? Well, I definitely do not windsurf all the time, most of the time, but not all the time. I really love to go supping. I love to go walking with my dogs. I love to go to the beach. My husband and I, we are both very active, so we love to go for a long walk on the beach or go for a cycle. My least favorite thing to do is to go to the mall or to the shops, because fashion is definitely the last thing on my brain. I find going to the malls extremely tiring, just being outdoors and doing outdoor activities. And then also I love being with my husband and my dogs. I love spending time at home. And my family is also in Langebaan. I'm super privileged that we all stay in the same town. So I love to spend a lot of time with my family. And then a big part of the time that I spend is obviously training. If I'm not on the water windsurfing, I'm definitely in the gym or at home training, or for the last 2 years, obviously doing lots of shoulder rehab. So it's a big part of my time that I spent is getting ready for events and competitions, testing my gear, and also promoting my sponsors on all my platforms. How much do I windsurf every day? When I have both shoulders working and the wind is blowing, I could easily spend up to 3 or 4 hours on the water every day because of the amazing wind that we have here. It's super constant. So I definitely use that time. I think the more water time you have, the better you do at competitions. So it's the most important part of my training, is just being on the water and getting used to the gear, because every year I get my new gear and I love to feel one with my gear. So I try really to get super comfortable with my boards, my fins, my sails every single year. Then also my dad and my husband still windsurfs with me a lot, and also we've got a really nice windsurf family community in Langebaan, so with a lot of good friends also windsurfing with. So mostly I love to spend time with them. My favorite gear setup is for choppy conditions, heavy wind conditions. If I still want to be on slalom gear and doing speed runs, I would definitely haul out my Fox 95 litre Fox Severn board. It is amazing. It handles chop like no one's business. I think I need to do a video just about my gear separately, because there is so much information for that. So just in short, and then put in my 30 or 32 or 34 even Caswell fin in, depending on what the tide is doing. So if it's an outgoing tide and I don't have so much tide and water to press against, I would put in a bigger fin like the 34 and pair that with my 5.5 slalom sail. When the tide comes in, we have got much more pressure on the fin, and so you can get away with using smaller fins. Then I'll put in a 30 or a 32. I will always opt for the smallest fin possible, while still getting a decent lift, because then the drag is so much less and I get way more speed and control out of it. For low, moderate winds, flat water conditions, I really love to pair my 7 Mach 2 with my 107 Isonic, and either put my 36 or 38 fin in depending on the tide. When I have my new AV boards, I will definitely be doing a lot of videos about that and discussing those boards separately, because I'm super excited to be sailing with my new boards. I think every time I windsurf, I learn something new. I've really been focusing a lot on changing around things and moving my mast track, moving the boom around, changing fins. So I'd love to share you guys all my findings and experiences with regards to that. I get exposed to so many different years of gear models, so every year something changes and they improve things. I've been extremely privileged to be able to use Severn sails. The sails are out of this world. I definitely can't get any better with regards windsurf gear, I believe. The sails are super light, and for big slalom sails like that, you would think that one would have to be super heavy to handle all that power, but it's a lot of technique that goes into sailing if you don't have that built. So I'm very finely in tune with how I do my settings, how I where I place my mast track, where I place my boom, and what feels right and comfortable for me. Hello, hello.